Hello everyone, this is Josh Explain Place, and today we continue expanding and growing our city of New Austin in this episode 8. Let's begin. In our last episode, we were able to create this really nice tourist zone, tourist district, as well as our first two parks. The first one is a little park here in this Primrose Park subdivision. It's called Amity Park. Yeah, it's doing well enough. Again, it's a small park. There's not that much stuff to go for people to come and visit. So it's fine. We're not going to worry about that yet. And our second park is the amusement park, which we call the River Experience. And it's also doing really well. The entertainment value is really good. And it's going to allow us to go to level 2 once we reach the total amount of visitors, which should be close enough, soon enough. And that was mainly what we did. We created these walls by the river that I think look really nice. We had an issue with the river not flowing from this part all the way downstream, but we fixed it. Apparently there was some glitch or something with the water pumps being off in here. I guess they were still taking in water. I don't know, maybe it's a glitch, maybe it's not. And so we are doing really well. The first thing that we need to work on for this episode 8, is to increase our residential zoning. And I think that's going to be the most important thing we do on this episode. Especially because what we want to do, or what I want to do for this city, is increase on the outside as much as I can with residential. And so there's two things we can do. First, we can either continue this subdivision, this phase 2, that's what we're going to call it, or we can create something new in this site. And I think that's what we are going to do. Since I do think we're going to continue this expressway here, I think this is going to be a really nice exit ramp from the expressway. So I think this is going to work really well. So what I'm going to do first is I am going to upgrade to a larger road. So let me do that. And I'm also going to continue with this one. And also with these two roads. And lastly, this little piece here. And the reason why I do that is to start creating nice blocks in the city. And I think this one is the biggest and best example. I don't want to continue this right now. Maybe just zone this little piece here. And we should be fine. So one of the things that I am going to do is to continue this road. And this one here. And I am going to start zoning this, but we're gonna try something new. Since this is a different part of the city and we kind of don't want to have any high density residential in this area, I think we're going to start here. It's on the outside and I think it's going to work really well. So first, let me draw some water pipes. Okay, so we can be prepared. And also let me draw some power lines from here all the way here. And last but not least, let me draw a zone and a district. I think that looks really nice. We are gonna double check our city planning. And we don't have that many things checked. I'm going to start checking this high-tech housing, which, as the note can read, turns homes into much cooler, smart homes to raise the land value around them. So basically, yes, it's gonna cost us, but it's gonna raise the value. There's nothing else in here that I would do. Also, I don't think I'm gonna do a high-rise ban for the whole city, but I am gonna do it for this Brooks district, and you'll see in a minute why. And I do kind of want to make this a very to make it look like a low density residential area, like some apartments, which again unfortunately we don't have here. We did have in SimCity 4, and we are gonna have in Cities Skylines 2, so I can't wait to start working with that. So let me just draw some roads, and that way I can explain you what I'm gonna do with this piece of land. So this is a very straightforward subdivision, and it's gonna house high density residential that we're gonna cap, or already we did cap with the policy for high rise ban. However, one of the DLCs and content creator packs included something for the high density residential as well as commercial, and for offices that's called wall to wall buildings. And I think that I this is the closest thing that I think we can get to medium density zoning, and I think that's the best option that we have. One of the things that I like to do, I'm gonna leave this blank for now, but is have 7 squares in between the roads. That way in the middle we can add a walking path, and I think that's gonna look really nice for all of these. I also don't think we should add another road in the middle. I think if you look at places such as maybe New York, you're gonna see that there's roads that have these and streets that are this kind of made or laid down this kind of way that don't have that many streets intersecting it, and that's what I'm going for. So let me draw this couple of walkways. So this is looking really good. So first of all, I'm gonna place the residential wall to wall buildings here. Same thing for the office and commercial too. Of course, you don't have to do it this way. Maybe you want to have some organic or local produce or whatnot, but I think it works for what we want to do here. So next, let me draw some more water pipes. And now I am gonna upgrade the roads to the bicycle roads, as well as take off those lights and put some stop signs. Okay, that's looking really nice. Let's put a little park here, or a 4x4 park. That way there's electricity. And so what I like to do, at least in this case, is to have commercial on this side, office in here. That way the distance between commercial and residential is a bit larger. And now we got level 2 with our theme park, which is the rotating teacups and piggy train. So let's leave that for a later time today. And that way, the noise pollution is not as high in the residential area as in the commercial area. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start zoning this, but before that, let's see what type of bus lines we can have here. So I'm gonna put one here, and I think this one is gonna connect here and here, here, and finally it's gonna come back here. So let's make sure, number one, that we make this a biofuel bus, because once you plop down the regular bus depot, this one, every time you create a new line, the buses just spawn, or the first choice is a regular fuel bus, not the biodiesel or the biofuel bus. So we already chose that, and we're gonna change this to maybe a green color. I think green should be fine. A darker green. There we go. And that way it matches with this, and it kinda connects, which is gonna be great. Maybe we can extend it to this side. That way people can use either one. But sure, why not? So let me delete this, put it here, change this to here, and we're gonna have another one here, and I think that should be fine for now. And little by little we're gonna see how well this line is gonna be utilized. Let's check right now. Yeah, there's nobody there, but we're fine. Again, it's great that we can upgrade the lines later. So right now I'm gonna start zoning commercial here, office, and just for right now I'm just gonna zone this as residential. In here I think it's a good place to have 2 medium-size or 3x3 parks, which again, they're custom made. I think that's gonna give this a little bit of happiness, and we should do the same thing on the other side, on the third block. So it's 1, 2 on the third one. 1, 2, 3, there you go. And yeah, they're gonna be asking for electricity. It should be fine. We shouldn't worry about it yet. So let me stop this really quick, and let me zone more here, here, and here. And sure, why not here? And let's see how well it grows. And I think this is looking really, really nice. Sometimes, for some reason, nothing spawns in between. I don't know if it's because we left only three squares in between the road and the other road and the pathway, the walking pathway. It's just weird. Sometimes it acts that way. So sometimes you might have, for example, we're gonna zone all these two and this side, but things won't get built or things won't spawn, and I don't understand why. So that's something to maybe look into it later. And just because I'm gonna place down some parking lots here, and maybe, sure, why not, let's plop down 2 plazas, one here and another one here. And sure, let me add a little walkway here. There you go. That way we make these people happy. As you can see, the demand for residential went down a lot, and we're still increasing our population. So the next thing we have to do is to check how we're doing with schools, and we are gonna need at the very least 1 or 2 schools in here. So first of all, I am gonna zone all these residential, high density residential. And again, it might not be the best option to having medium density, residential areas, but I think it works really, really well by restricting not only the height, but by utilizing the option that we get with wall-to-wall buildings with the walkable cities, which we could have done here, but not right now. I don't think it's needed. Maybe later on. What I think would be a good idea is to create a whole park here, a really nice, pretty park. That's gonna be for later, but we are forgetting to add services. So the first thing that we are gonna add is a firehouse, and we're gonna plop it here. And the second thing is gonna be a police station. Also, we shouldn't forget to start putting these large emergency shelters. And I think the first one that we're gonna have, I'm gonna put in here. So I think the first one, yeah, I'm gonna put it here. I just need to draw a road. Let me pause this really quick because I think we're gonna mess this up. So we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna add this here, and that works perfectly fine. And the next one we are gonna place here. And what we're gonna do is we are gonna draw walkways here, here, and we'll just leave this, well, yeah, here too. And we're gonna put some parking lots. Does this one fit? Nope. That means that we have an even number of squares, and that's gonna look really nice. Also, we need to add a cemetery, and I think this is the best place for it. And we need a medical clinic, which I think we're gonna put in here. I'm gonna put here for now. I'm gonna let this continue playing, and I am gonna place down not a regular elementary school, but I'm gonna plop down the high capacity elementary school. And of course, these are also part of the walkable cities and the new denser cities that you can do. This school has a capacity for 800 students as opposed to the 300 that the regular elementary school has. So I think it's a great thing. Also, I am gonna plop down another high school, and that's gonna be just the regular high school. I don't think we should do anything with the high capacity high school. I think we should be fine. And in any other case, we can always update it. So how else can we add to this? So I think the first thing that I'm gonna do is see which sports parks we can put in here. And I think it's gonna be basically either this soccer field, maybe this would look really nice here. Let's see, the football field, and finally the other football field, which takes up the whole space. And let's do baseball. Well, let me see. This one has a capacity of 150. This one 150 and 180. This one has 150. Let's do football. And let's see how we can have some walking paths intersect here. And I think that's gonna be great. Maybe we can have the basketball court here. No, but I think what we can do is just still add it and just try to see how we can make this work. I think it's gonna be here. There you go. And maybe just add this here. We can put some more trees. And we'll wait to see, maybe we're gonna do parking. So sure, why not? We're gonna need a lot of parking with this specific subdivision. And so we have no more demand for residential zones. What we have is demand, well, just a little bit, but we have more demand for commercial and for industry or offices. And I think we can start doing some more stuff in here, because we do want to have some offices, and that's what we are gonna place down. So I'm gonna do this like this, and then like this, and it's gonna be our little square that's gonna have a lot of offices. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a road here, another one here, and more in the middle. Let me do that. So I think this is gonna look really, really nice. I'm gonna upgrade it already. And in these cases where there's nothing else to be added, I think it's okay to start with whatever road you wanna do. Again, I do mostly bicycle roads, which I think unfortunately they're gonna be missing from City Skylines 2. And I think that is a shame. Everything looks so nice from the new game that I think not having bicycles is gonna be an issue here. And so I think we're fine. Let's take a look at how the line is doing, this bus line. And I think it's doing pretty well. I think once we start working on this, it's gonna grow more. So let me just lay down these water pipes. And I think for right now, there's gonna be maybe one little zone here, and it's gonna be in the middle, because I wanna have this be yet another financial zone. I think that looks really nice. Those buildings are small, and they look really, really nice whenever we add them into our city. So that's what I'm gonna do here with the financial offices. I don't want to do IT yet, because maybe one here, I don't know, but I do want to save that for whenever we update all of these. Again, once we start growing our city a little bit more, once we have more residential on the outside, then we can start doing regular, without limits, high density commercial, high density residential, and offices, especially the IT cluster. So one of the things that I want to do here is to have a parking garage. I think I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put some walkways here, and I think that looks nice enough. There's two colors for this, the gray and the brownish, and I think the brown is the one that I like to use for whenever it's inside the city, not for the ones that I put next to, for example, the airport or the train stations and whatnot. So I think that's good. I am thinking of putting a bus station here. So we'll see how that goes, because we do need one. Maybe we can put it here, I don't know. But I think this would be a great place, especially when there's a lot of people here and we don't have access to the train station here. That's another route that we might plop once we start zoning this area with residential. I am also gonna plop down, let's see, maybe we can do this here. And again, these are parks that I decided to do because sometimes I like to have these like pathways that you can see in bigger cities, Houston, Dallas, New York, Chicago, LA. Doesn't really matter. You have plazas that are basically just long walkways with plants around or whatever else they put on them, plants, trees, fountains. So that's what I like to do. And also I am still gonna add regular parking, and that way this is gonna be really good. And well, we got to big city, and this is really good news, especially because we have a new area to expand, a new tile, and we have the crematorium, we have the advanced water treatment plants, um, and we have the large water tower along with some other stadiums and stations. But I think the biggest deal is the crematorium. I think that's gonna help us a lot, and the other tile that's gonna be great. And so this area is looking really nice. I think I'm just gonna zone these two corners with regular commercial. I think I'm also gonna expand this area and this side too with making this the modern city center, that way that the other commercial areas are built in this style. And I think in the future we might add some leisure uh, commercial here, but I think that's gonna be it for right now. So let's see how fast we can have this build itself. And well, this is growing very nicely, and now we have more demand for residential. So one of the things that I'm going to do first is to create a line that's going to be a circle going around this clockwise and counterclockwise. So let me build that really quick. Well, and I created the two lines, and as you can see, I had them be a red but a different type of um, shade. Basically, this is very light and this is very strong. They are both 7 vehicles in each route, and I think that's going to help people get from here to here. I think that's a great addition. So also, let me pause this really quick. I'm going to zone as much as I can here for residential, and we'll see how far and how fast it develops. Well, it is growing little by little, but also let me pause this. We forgot at the beginning to check for electricity and water is what we are needing. And since right now we have access to the large water tower, I think I'm gonna place down one here, since it really shouldn't matter since there's no people here. So I think that's gonna be nice. So let's see how that goes. Yes. And we still don't have the eco advanced water treatment plant, but I'm gonna add 2 more of these here. and I think that should be enough. There you go. They're also asking for electricity, but let me just plop a little parking lot and extend this here. There you go. And let's give it a couple more minutes and see if this develops a little bit more. Well, I think it developed as much as it could. And as you can see, this is not, this doesn't look that big. It actually looks really nice. The buildings are not that tall. So that's the closest thing that we can get to, at least in my opinion and the way that I set it up, to medium density residential, which again in SimCity 4, it looked really, really nice, really, really cool. Let's see how well people are taking advantage of this line, and they are. And same thing for the other line, it's working really, really nice. Now let's take a look at the green line. And wow, there's a lot of people waiting here. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is upgrade these to the articulated buses. And at least for now, I'm gonna double the budget for these. I think it's just crazy. I didn't expect it to be this bad in here. Let's see for this other green line. It's working fine. And finally for this red line, it's also working really nice. There's a lot of people waiting in this area. Maybe let's do 200 and let's see how that helps or not. And let's check on this little route, which is only one. I am gonna change this to the double-decker bus. I think it's gonna look really cool going around this tourist area. I think that's gonna look really great. And seeing how we are in a medium-ish, high-ish demand for commercial, I'm gonna zone these two. Maybe that's gonna help. And I think this little area also is looking really, really nice. I wish this didn't happen, and maybe we can try to fix it. Sometimes it messes up things. Yeah, that should be good enough. I think that's good enough. That way we don't mess also the water, and it just looks nice. And as you can see, unfortunately, even though we have the wall that has a lower walking path, the current is just too high for that. The level is too high, and that's something that I also don't like about this, about city skylines. Sometimes, like in here, this pier looks so high, and even when you put it on the other side, it's gonna look very high, and sometimes it's not enough. So that's something that hopefully they can fix in the near future. Also, we have a little bit of traffic here. What I am gonna do, again, it's because it's at the beginning of using the new vehicles, the new buses. See, it's a lot of people moving. It's incredible. Maybe this is gonna be an interesting line to put for subway whenever we decide to add subway. Right now, again, it's unfortunate that the population count for a city that's this big with so much high density residential, it's only 22,000 people. That's really that really doesn't make any sense. I think that City Skylines 2 is fixing that a little bit, but nothing compares to how we used to have things in SimCity 4. And maybe I shouldn't be making these types of comparisons, but this is how things work. These are how things really are. And the way that I like to imagine my city is to multiply this by 10, and that way I can think that there's a population of 220,000 people, um, especially with so many buildings that only have 7 households when it's more than 10 stories high. So that's something that I hope things get fixed in cities skylines too, which looks that they kind of address this, so it's not gonna be bad. Something that we haven't checked again is the electricity, and I think that based on our garbage, we might want to add a an incineration plant, and we're gonna put it here. And I think that's gonna help us with electricity and with garbage, so we should be fine at least for now. We're not gonna put any more recycling centers. We can try to start moving all this little by little to this side. This is gonna be our heart, basically, where we clean the water, where we produce the electricity, where we also deal with our garbage. And I think that's gonna be it's gonna be a really good area to do so. Another thing that I want to look at right now, since we looked at electricity, water, maybe we're gonna need another sewage plant, but not right at this moment. Garbage, we're fine. In terms of education, I think this is not enough. So what I'm gonna do is, yes, I am gonna plop another one here. I'm just gonna do it here, and that should increase our capacity to 2800, which should be good enough. And in terms of education, we are fine. Something that we haven't taken a look at is the university, and I am gonna put a little faculty in here. And I'm gonna leave this open at least for right now. I kind of wanted to do some more parking spaces, but I think we're completely fine. And now we're gonna do a little bit of death care, and I think it's now time to do the crematorium, and I'm gonna plop down a crematorium here, and this one is gonna have a random vehicle appear. I do like the fact that now we have access to changing these vehicles. I think it was a great addition that maybe it shouldn't have been on the base game, or maybe it should have, but now that it's there, it looks really nice. And I'm gonna add 2 parking lots here, and this looks really nice. And one of the last things that I want to look at is with traffic. As you can see, traffic gets really bad in this area in here, especially for these big buses that sometimes protrude, like what is happening right now. And the AI is not smart enough to go around it and have it not make this line form. And I think that's one of the negatives of having these bigger buses and the AI not being that smart. But overall, I think in terms of traffic, it's fine. Of course, these are busy streets that are going to be busy no matter what, because there's people that go here. There's a lot of industry that's here, and once we expand our expressway into this area, I think this should get a little bit better. It's not gonna get perfect because there's always gonna be traffic. Traffic is always gonna be there, but at least it's gonna be lower by a little bit. And I think that the last thing that we're gonna do is to create a little leisure district here. I think people on this side are needing that. And we do have to plop some sort of building here. And I think the stock exchange, it's gonna be great, especially because we have a lot of office space for the banking, for the financial area, and I am going to expand this here. That way we have a little bit more of offices for that. We can also expand on this side and on this side, so I think that's gonna be great. As you can see in here, there's some traffic, so let's upgrade this road because I hadn't realized that it was only the regular. And let's see how it works. One of the mods that I wish I would use, even though it complicates things a little bit more, is the transportation mode, that traffic mod, because it would allow me to tell these people to not turn left and to only turn right, and these people, like I mentioned before, to only turn one way. The other way that I figured that I could fix this is to change this road into a regular road. And what that makes is, since this road is in theory slower, now whoever wants to turn right to get into the expressway, they're gonna turn left. Now they're gonna turn right because this is faster, so that they can get into the expressway. So let's see if that's gonna happen anytime soon. So it is kind of working. There's a lot of traffic here that I hadn't also noticed. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna upgrade this road. I usually would do it with the bicycle lanes, and I think that's gonna work really well here. And I'm gonna do the same thing here, and that should help. Do it. Also, another thing that I like to do in this case is these people also want to go to the left, most of them. So I'm gonna do the same thing, which is upgrade this road to a regular road. And wow, I didn't expect to get to Grand City, but we are in Grand City. We have more stuff that we unlocked, but nothing that we need at this moment. So first of all, let's try to finish this. And when I see there's a lot of traffic that's coming into the city, thankfully we were given this type of road, which is the asymmetrical 3-lane road, and something similar happens with the highway. So that's what I'm going to do in here. That way, if there's people that want to turn left, they have their own lane, and if somebody wants to turn right, they have their own road, and that helps a lot, believe it or not. Especially again when we don't have any traffic mods. This is what works a lot. This is what works really, really well. In here, I think I'm just gonna put some stop signs here. Later on, we might want to do a roundabout. And I think the roundabouts from City Skylines 2 are gonna work great, like in this type of examples. I think that's gonna be great. There's a building that's on fire that should be taken care of really, really well. And we do need to add. Let me pause this really, really quick. I'm just gonna add this large water treatment plant. It's just a regular one, but I think for now that should help us, especially when everything's on fire. Let's see, and we might need another one. And again, once we unlock the eco-friendly, there you go. You know what? We can delete this. So we are also having a lot of traffic here. So first, let me see if changing this to a 3-lane one-way roads might help. I think it might. And that's something that we should be taking care of in the next episode, which is traffic. Now that our city has grown and that our city wants to keep growing, we are gonna have to deal with these type of things now, especially with this very, very heavy traffic in this road, which I don't see how it could be changed. I think people are using the exit that they need, which is great, but maybe if we expand this road here, as we should already, we can have more people exiting here than just using this one road. That's why it's very important to have more than one exit, more than one ramp into your city and to the expressway. That's a tip for everybody. This is what a lot of people do. They only do one exit ramp, and that doesn't help. It really doesn't. And so I think that we were fortunate enough to finish this really, really, really nice area, which I'm gonna call our medium density area, especially for these smaller buildings that kind of look like the like apartments, medium density zones. And so I think we created something really well, really nice. Hopefully you can let me know if you like this or if you don't, but again, there's no other way we can create anything medium density for any of them. And I think this looks nice here, especially these downtown type of buildings. We have some leisure in here, and everything is growing really, really nice. So I think this is gonna be it for this episode 8. Thank you for watching the video, liking the video, subscribing to this channel, and for your time. As always, until next episode. Thank you.